Hello there everyone, it's Carol here from the Crafty Emporium again. Just a quick recap on yesterday's video. I'm going to do myself a birthday book. So this was January, February that I completed. This was March and April, and I added a little bit of an extra something on after I'd finished filming. So I used my liquid pearls and added a few of those on there as well. And I don't know whether you will see the dimension of the glossy accents, and then it looks a bit odd, doesn't it? His eye. Ooh. So that's the first two done. Going to move on to the next one, which is May, June. Now this one is going to be a bit trial and error. What I have kind of gathered together is several little bits and pieces, and I actually found the actual page out of the book that matches this one. And the butterfly is a lot clearer on this page than it is actually on the card. So I'm thinking of cutting that out and making it dimensional on the page. And because I'm going to do that dimensional, I then thought of a few other things that I thought I might add as dimensional. So on the bottom of the page, it's got here that it's a flower of common bramble and meadow brown butterfly. So I thought, well, I might as well cut that out and add that on, seeing as that's what it's referring to. So I'm going to start cutting out. I've also got some pieces from die cut sheets that I've got. So let's get those in frame so that you can see. I found that butterfly, but I think it might be a bit drab, and especially as I'm using the actual name of what the butterfly is. But I found some fern and some leaves and some pink flowers, and then of course I've got the little pieces of die cuts that I've done in previous videos where I've inked up the paper and then used my die cuts to cut those out. I also had this from out of the book as well, which tells me that St Barnabas Day is on June the 11th. See? It's handy to know if you didn't know already. Put that there so it'll focus. June 24th is Midsummer's Day, and June the 29th is St Peter's Day. There you go. Full of information. So I was kind of thinking of that up there. I was kind of thinking of cutting that out and sticking it onto there to act as a border. So let's make a start. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out this little piece down here, and I'm going to cut it rather than rip the edges of it, because I want it sort of slightly neat, and I actually don't want to ruin too much of this page either. So I could cut it out on my paper trimmer, but as per usual, I'm just cutting it out with a pair of scissors. And then I thought that I could ink that up and sit that on top of there. So I'm going to try and cover 3 of these cards today. So I don't want them to be extremely long, so otherwise it gets boring for you guys to watch. Oh, the other thing that I've gone and done as well is I decided that I was going to add the lace on all of the cards. So I've already gone and done that, because I don't think you need to see me sticking on more bits of lace along that edge, do you? Nah, I didn't think you would. Okay, stick that down where the flower shows up the most, I think. Maybe that's not going to happen. Okay, sit you on there and then cut you out with a little border. And I'm going to ink that piece up. I'm not going to stick it in place just at the moment, because I want to see about adding some of these pieces, and I might add some dimensionals onto this so that it's slightly raised. So I think the next thing that I need to do is cut out this butterfly. Yeah, and I think that if I do that as 3-dimensional, I don't think I need that on there. We'll see. We'll get this in position and then I'll decide. Now I'm not going to ink around the edge of the butterfly because I want the cream border that I've left to blend in with the background. So, and I always put a little dab of glue on these dimensionals as well when I take the paper backing off, because sometimes if you've had your dimensionals for a while they actually dry up a little. And then that butterfly can sit on top of that previous one. And in fact the antennae I had there from the butterfly underneath. Okay, so we'll put some dimensionals on this. Okay, and I'm going to stick that there. And because I've only put the dimensionals down the middle, it means that I can insert these already pre-cut pieces underneath. So we'll put some glue on this one. I want that to sit over the top of that butterfly. Maybe chopping a bit off there, make it shorter. Now we'll have that flat and then we'll have the flowers raised. Yeah, we'll have that flat. Have that going off at a slight angle, an artistic angle. Put some dimensionals on that. Which way around? Way. And then we can sit those on top of that sign. And then that can slot under there. And that one can go there. And I think I might use a little bit of stickles. I kind of think I quite like that as it is, and I might add some stickles on these flowers. Come, drop down into the nozzle. Okay. And just do the odd one or two dotted about. I think that that is enough actually for that one. What do you think? That's May and June done. Let's go on to the next one. Now I have to confess, July and August has stumped me a bit, because when I actually started having a look at it and thinking what could I do to alter it, it's actually quite a boring card. Oh dear. So I came up with a little plan. I'm still not quite sure. So I'd got this fold out card that was a freebie from a magazine. Oh look, see, it was from a cross stitch magazine, and I thought to myself I could actually use the frame. Now these are not Country Diary, but so where were they from? This was the packaging. So this was a Do Crafts Paper Mania thing from Nature's Gallery. The designs were called Nature's Gallery, and so in fact that one might be better than the one that I picked out. This is another one of those horrible cards that I don't like when they're all punched out like this. I took my last lot apart. So I did think that I could use these instead of that image that's on there. And what I thought about doing was, if I just insert that in there, see, I could stick that on the inside there and then have that raised up again by adding the dimensionals onto it. And then this was Country Diary. It was a freebie again off a magazine, and they've got these little bees in it, so I thought I could actually stamp some little bees on there and then add maybe some flowers on top, so that the background becomes almost like a border. So I think that that's what I'm going to do. Decision made. See, it's amazing when you start going through all your bits and pieces, your imagination starts to go, oh, actually I could use that, and I could use this. So I want that stuck on the back. So I'm just going to add some glue around this inner frame part. So then I can stick that on top of this picture. Make sure I don't chop his beak off. And then on the back I'm going to add some dimensionals. Now I'm going to do that off camera, because you don't need to watch me doing that, do you? So I'll see you in a second. Hello again, you've joined me just at the right time. So I've put all my dimensionals on. As you can see, I put a lot on because I need to be able to support it so that it doesn't bend and buckle in the middle. And if I'd thought about it, I could have got my strips of dimensionals out rather than using the individual ones, but hey ho, life's too short to be moaning about that bit. Okay, let's stick that on there. I've inked up around the edge as well of the frame, so I'll think about there. And then I've got my little bee, and I've got some sepia archive link, so I've got my little bee on my stamping block, and I just want to test it out before I actually stamp on the cute. Okay, let's add a couple of bees, and I only want 2 on, I think. So I'll have 1 going that way. You watch, I'll go and print it off on that other card perfectly, and then I'll smudge this one. Whew. I am not the hottest at stamping. Okay, we want one that way up over here. Oh, I smudged him a little bit. Do I want any more? No, I think that's enough. I think the two's sufficient. And possibly adding that on. I think there's a bit too much grey in there though, so I'm going to cut this down a bit further. This was one of the cut-out pieces from out of the same paper pack that this one came out of. So a little bit more fussy cutting than what they actually dictated. That better. So I'm going to need dimensionals on this bottom bit because it's away from the sheet, and then the rest of it can be stuck on the frame. So if I add some down there. Okay, so I want, oh sorry, wobbling the camera there. So I want some glue on this bit. Dab of glue on them. And put that on there. Jobs are good, and I think. I mean, if I come across something else, I can always add to it, you know. But for now, I think I might add, where's my glossy accents gone? There. I think I might add some glossy accents on that flower centre there. One last thing I'm going to do. I do like doing my faux stitching. So I think if I add a thin line of faux stitching on that edge round there, and that's that one done. Yeah, liking that now. That's a lot better. Okay, on to the next one. So to the final one for today, which is September and October. I've worked on a few options for this one, so I'm not quite totally sure where I'm going with this just yet. But I've got my box of leaves, some of which I've die cut, some of which I've inked up myself, and some of which I purchased, and I found these. But I've also got some skeleton leaves as well. So I'm kind of thinking, let's open this one up first, of adding a couple of these on top of the leaves that already exist. Can't see if I've got one or two there. I think there's just one. So let's have a look. Maybe adding a couple of leaves on top there, maybe. Oh, I'll tell you what, I've got these as well. So I've got these bunches of flowers. My flowers have got a little bit squished. So I've got these on a wire stem. So let's chop some of them off because they're slightly smaller. So that might be better. They're a better size, aren't they? And with them being wire, of course I can manipulate them a little bit. And they become a little bit then three-dimensional. So maybe those smaller ones might be better. Oh, that one come off the wire. Cut that one off. So I could maybe add a couple there, one there. Now I did think about putting some skeleton leaves down here to add to the effect of it being autumnal, but they kind of get a little bit lost. Let's try the gold ones, see what they look like. Oh, I've got a copper one there as well. So gold and copper could go down there. Now I've also laminated. It's a shame about those. I think they're just a touch too big. Yeah. I've also laminated some pieces of some leaves and flowers and some honesty. And I've also laminated some ivy leaves and some other leaves. So I was thinking of cutting one up and sitting it on top. I was wondering if I could punch it out. So I've got it in my circle punch. Right, fingers crossed. Ooh, I think it's done it. Ooh. And I thought I could put that one there. So they could go like that, and then I thought of a Tim Holtz, either collect beautiful moments or find joy in the ordinary. So I thought about find joy in the ordinary, because these are kind of, you know, we take them for granted, so we class them as ordinary things, but in actual fact they're quite extraordinary things, aren't they? Okay, I think that will probably do me, so let's glue everything in place. So they can be glued down there. And then that gives it a little bit of dimension then. And then I think turn them right down there in the corner. I've got glue on my fingers now, look, it's sticking to me. And I'm just going to put glue at the base. Just want to make sure that this glue dries clear enough that it doesn't show through. I'm just going to add a couple of dimensionals onto this so it's slightly raised. And then that can sit on there. Find joy in the ordinary. That can go there. And then the other thing that I'm going to do once I put this on is I'm going to put some glossy accents on the squirrel's eye and on some of these nuts. If we just pop that there. With a continuous flow. I think that's enough for that one. Add a little dab of glue on there. Just hold that point down. And I'm calling September, October done. So that's that one done. And then finally I found this as I was going through my Edith Holden books, and it says, if the 24th of August be fair and clear, then hope for a prosperous autumn that year. And I thought about adding that on the bottom of that image there, so I'm just going to stick that on. And then that's my 3 postcards for today. All done and dusted. Okay, so those are my 3 for today. I hope you've enjoyed joining me on this little journey so far, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Don't forget to go and have a look at April's Pink Odd Birds postcard that she's working on as well, and I hope that you're enjoying this little collaboration between the two of us. I'll see you all again tomorrow with the final postcard and how I'm actually going to make this up into a little mini book. Okay, thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.